What is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marf, and tonight's show is going to be loaded, so stick around. All right. What is going on, guys? It's Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. Tonight, we're going to be talking about unidentified sightings. We're going to have callers. We're also going to have your viewer-submitted videos all week long. You can submit videos to marfooglenews.com/playmyvideo and send in anything from crazy square clouds to, of course, sightings. So that is what we were going to be going over tonight. We're also going to be going over some really good stories here as far as that goes. Everything is going to be available on our website. So if you go to marfooglenews.com, you can actually follow along. You can also watch these videos on your own time. If there's something that you saw and you go, I don't know, I think they did something to that, well, you can look at it and go look for yourself. These are all viewer videos. So again, these are all different people that are sending these in. If you want to investigate on their video and watch it over and over and over again to your heart's content, you can do so on our website. In fact, our website is actually going to have everything there. It's very easy to navigate. Tonight's show, of course, is This Is Not Casper. When you go to the website, you'll see that it's right there on the front page. And then you'll click that, and you'll see viewer videos and everything unidentified. And then you'll see that we have all of the actual callers, all of the articles, every single tweet, video is all there for your enjoyment. So we'll get right into the videos here in just a second. We're also going to get into a couple of articles. Obviously, there's some pretty big stuff that is going on right now, and really weird stuff. If you guys have watched me for 3 years or watched me for 3 days, you probably know I have some debatable opinions on space. Of course, that's because I know that people light up in the comments depending on what I say. But I've gotten to the point where I just, I'm going with my view. For the people that we've talked to, the military groups we've talked to, I feel like if I am wrong, then it's only because even the people high up have been told this as well. And who knows? I always leave the door open for you could be right, because this could go all the way up to the very top, and they're being told this. I just wonder, if they're being secretive about it, they've been told about this, and they think this themselves, why in the heck, if you find out that secret, why would they do that? Why wouldn't they have the truth up there instead of a blatant lie? So I don't know, and that's why I leave that door open. Let's introduce Dex. Dex is going to be on the phones. He's also going to be helping update the website live, marfooglenews.com. And then, of course, Dex, what is going on, and how are you doing tonight?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing pretty good.
Remember, you can also get alerts from us. You can get push notifications directly to your phone. In fact, one of your notifications can be us going live. In fact, it will do it right the second we go live, not when YouTube tells you or when we tweet. And then you can also sign up for email alerts. That is if we get taken down in any way and we have an SHTF notice to give you, we would use that. We rarely use that system. Again, I think the most we've used it is once a month, but we do plan on using it more, so get on there and go to marfooglenews.com. Martin Benjamin says, right on time. Hope all is well with the Foogle fam. Adam, Dex, you guys are the best. Seriously. Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment, and I know Dex does as well. And then Becky Howard, thank you for being the last one out. Says, kindness often manifests as positive energy, just as anger often manifests as negative energy. I like that. That was a nice note to leave it on, by the way. Now, let's...
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dex from...
By the way, I don't know how that popped up. I think that's the How to Watch Marfoogle video. which, by the way, if you have a problem watching on any of the platforms, there's a video at the very top of our website. It says, for the first time, organic matter crucial for life has been found on an asteroid's surface. It says, follow the twisted limbs of your family tree all the way back to its primordial origins billions of years in the past, and you'll find that we all originated from dust rich in organic chemistry. At least that's what this says. It says, just where the organic dust came from has been a topic of debate for more than half a century. Now researchers have found the first evidence of organic materials essential to life on Earth on the surface of an S-type asteroid. It says an international team of researchers recently conducted an in-depth analysis on one of the particles brought back from the asteroid Itokawa by the Japanese Space Agency, or JAXA, original Hayabusa mission back in 2010, which Hayabusa, of course, is another one that I was like, why are they doing all of these asteroid missions? Why are they trying to get on asteroids? If you think about it, they have actually publicly told us that the Hayabusa and some of these others, like OSIRIS-REx, they are doing the plot of Armageddon in real life, just without humans. They send these probes out, they land on the asteroid, they even try to blow it up or to put a hole in it, to drill a hole in it. They've done all of that. So it's just kind of crazy to think of that they say that they're actually doing the Armageddon plot line, and it is for that purpose. They are actually looking at ways of how they could steer asteroids another way, how they can mine them, how they can do all this. I think that is a bigger thing than what they say. And the reason why I think that is because our military groups, some of the high-ranking officials that have been in our groups that have said that this is a big thing. And they back themselves up with some of the financials that have gone through. We also had one of the persons who audits stuff that goes across FEMA desk. In fact, they audit all of these kind of money transactions, such as funding that goes towards FEMA. And they said that this one was for debris cleanup from space. Specifically mentioned was a Class 2 gas giant, which I still think is going to come out. And when it does, I believe we'll be the first ones to talk about it. I actually think that no one else has covered as far as those together, Class 2 gas giant and, of course, the debris cleanup and the money that went into it. And I've asked for a year, if anybody wants to prove me wrong, go ahead and look for the money. Follow the money is what everybody always says, obviously. And then we've got Becky Howard in the house. Thank you. And James Fox. Thank you guys for joining me. By the way, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do the show. I had a really sharp pain in my leg, and I don't know where the heck it came from. It was out of nowhere, and it's a kind of a long story, but it was kind of extreme. So if I do have to cut out for any reason, I will let you guys know. But I should be good. At least I think I am. And then we have NASA's new Mars rover hits dusty red road. First trip 21 feet. Okay, so it says that this rover, Perseverance, actually went 21 feet in its first test drive. It says the Perseverance rover ventured from its landing position Thursday, 2 weeks after landing on the red planet, to seek for signs of past life. The roundabout back and forth drive lasted about 33 minutes, and it went so well that the six-wheeled rover was back on the move Friday. During a news conference Friday, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, shared photos of the tire tracks over and around the small rocks. One thing that I have to say, and for someone that, I'm not one who does not believe in space and does not believe in all that, the pictures of Mars just look like, to me, they look like, somewhere in Nevada or something. It's just like, and that's just my personal opinion. It may be up at Mars. What I don't understand is with the camera technology we have, why can't they get that thing to point straight up at the sunset, all this, but in just such good quality that it can't be faked? Why can't they take video And if they have to send one frame at a time, if you realize that you only need 30 frames per second, if they can take photos, even static photos, in a quick, in a quick thing and send it back, they could make a movie out of that is high quality. So I don't understand why we haven't seen a super high quality kind of sunset in Mars. Maybe it's the atmosphere. I don't know. But you would think that we could have, without a shadow of a doubt, like really good video by now, especially if they're sending stuff back, right? And you go, oh, well, the file sizes, and they have to send it so far. Well, send them in pictures, send them in little chunks. I mean, this is NASA. That's what I don't get. The stuff I've seen so far, and I've seen a lot of the stuff that they've shown so far, I just don't get it. I mean, why aren't they showing us more and better stuff? Will we see some of the tornadoes that happen on Mars? Some of the stuff that we've heard about in books for years and years and years. Will we see Earth ever, Or, well, I guess we wouldn't be able to see Earth, but will we see the sun or see something setting or crazy skies from the atmosphere there? Am I off base here, That's what I wonder. I'm going to go over to the live chat. Thank you, Mr. Cornholio. Zippy Moons. Kelly2334, thank you so much. Johnson, prayers for your health, Marv. Feeling the healing powers. Much love. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Nuclear conflict. Nuclear war. Bear Claws, I love Chihuahuas. Unicorn Forest. Jeannie F. Chandler. And, of course, we've got Dixie Doe in the house. Thank you. And then Vault 111. Hey, nice to see you tonight. Everdays. Thank you for gifting out subscriptions. Thank you again for the gifting out the Marfia badge. And then Lynn, thank you for being here as well. PMC 2020, I appreciate you. Life is better on stilts. Life is better on stilts. I'll probably talk about it at the very end so I don't bore the people in the very beginning because most people will tune out after about half an hour. Dangers await humans on Mars as Elon Musk sets his sights on colonization. I've always had a pretty strong theory here that something's going to hit us or something's going on. And when you say that, people's immediate response is to say, "Oh, that's stupid. This is that." I was actually afraid to say it for a long time. I think that something's going on, or they know that some sort of mass Earth event is going to happen where Earth is going to be unlivable. That's my actual thoughts. And it's hard to say that because people criticize you or, they say it's fear this or fear that. I didn't want to be fear-mongering. If you've watched me for 3 years, you know that I take it seriously. I didn't like being called fear-mongering or clickbaity stuff. This is the stuff I'm passionate about. This is the stuff that I've talked to family about. This is the stuff that I've met people that are in high-ranking positions talk about. The thing is once you kind of wake up and realize that there's a whole other spectrum of things that the people in the know are talking about, you realize that the only reason you're thinking it's a bad thing to talk about is because public has made you look crazy or said, preppers are crazy or preppers are paranoid. There's this thing of being paranoid that was attached to it, and that was on purpose. If you do some research, you'll see it goes all the way back, and it probably goes back further, but during JFK and all of that, the theorist word, theorist, that word was, I believe, patented or dimed by the CIA, and they were trying to make those people look crazy. Think about how easy it is to make somebody look like they're a nut. Look at what has happened over the last year. Anything that is, that they have solid proof, they can just delete it and go, all these crazy theories, right? It's on purpose. So I honestly don't think that my views are that crazy. Think about it. All the stuff we're doing to get to space. It's freaky. It is really freaky. They're talking about having a space hotel by 2027. That's 6 years. I don't know about you, but I think about how fast my daughter has grown, my 6-year-old. I can remember like yesterday she was born. So if 6 years is all it's going to take for some sort of anti-gravity space hotel to be up above us, then that's freaky. Not to mention 2024 is right ahead of us, which a lot of people have theories about. 2029, Apophis, which they said was possibly going to hit us, and then they said, oh, we've tracked it and we followed it, and now it's not going to hit us. I don't know about that. Why are they doing all of this stuff? What was the meeting in the White House and other places that, DT was actually able to do the Space Force? And yeah, he got made fun of, like, oh, Space Force, and even they made a Netflix show about it, making and poking fun at it. But Space Force is still there. And Space Force is being taken very seriously by the DoD and everything else because they have weapons in space now. They even confirmed after, people go, oh, why do we need Space Force? There have been certain events, which I believe we will find out later, were done by space weapons. There was one not too long ago where just 3 days after it happened, it was in a country right on the docks there. Something went I think that later on we'll find out that was something else. We had, and this is another example why I think space weapons are real and why I think that all this stuff is going on at the same time. The Chinese assault carrier that was on fire for 3 to 5 days. In fact, they said up to 5 days they couldn't put it out. It was an assault amphibious carrier. So it specifically has this open back where amphibious vehicles can come in and out of it. They can even have smaller ships roll into this carrier. So it's not a normal carrier. It's an amphibious carrier. So it not only has stuff on the top, it has these boats go in. It was in their port in China, and it caught fire on the inside without the fuel tank blowing up or anything. And we can back this up. This is all mainstream. This is all authoritative sources. It caught fire for 3 to 5 days. How does something steel like that doesn't have a bunch of frilly stuff catch fire for that long? Well, that's one thing, okay? Maybe there's something in there. Maybe they overly did it with red curtains. I don't know. But what I do know is just a few months later, we had our amphibious assault carrier catch on fire and stay on fire for 3 to 5 days. And some of the news stories said, oh, well, they're trying to put it out before it gets to the fuel source. So wait, both had 5-day fires that couldn't be put out and they didn't have an accelerant? How does that happen in a steel ship that's not made for a hotel stay? This isn't like there's a bunch of hotel towels stacked up with thousand thread count linen. This is a steel ship that most of it is all steel. How did that get hot and stay on fire for that long? To me, it doesn't make sense, and it's quite a coincidence. And I would say I would hope a scientist could, maybe somebody in the right mind that is respected could do a study on that. How likely is it that China's assault amphibious carrier in port, not in a battle, catches fire, and then just a few months later, our amphibious assault carrier, the same type of ship only on our military and our Navy, also catches fire in port? If you think that is a coincidence, then your bus needs to be a lot shorter. So let's see here. By the way, I just want to pull this up real quick so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. There's stuff going on all around us, and I'm just trying to further prove that there is plenty that we do not know about. So this is the first one you'll see here. Fire breaks out on China's massive new type, and this is a brand new ship, right? This was before ours. And of course, it had multiple days. Even the pictures look alike. This is the kind of ship it is. See how the back opens up? So, in port, catches fire. And it lasted, I believe, 4 days. So again, that's not crazy. What is crazy is the second ship. And not in the same military. It's not like, oh, faulty wiring. Ship Yeah. They're scrapping the ship. Isn't that convenient? And by the way, they couldn't even put investigators in until after it was done. So they of course came up with something there. Again, these were both in port. They were both amphibious assault carriers. It was like a tit for tat. And nobody was hurt. Amphibious assault ship Bonhomme Richard. Just a few months apart. So if you don't think that we're already at conflict, then I just think that you just have to open your eyes a little bit wider. Because there's a lot going on. And then, of course, Elon talks about the dangers of moving off. This is all, they're basically, they go into these stories of how it's going to be more dangerous and this and that. There's tornadoes, there's all this stuff. What I'm waiting for is for us to see the video of all of this stuff from Mars. Because so far I'm not convinced. And I am somebody who does believe that all of this is going on because something is coming towards Earth or something is hitting Earth. Or Earth is going to flip or do something drastic, cause all of the tectonic plates to go, including the Cascadia. I think that. But I am still skeptical about this because I haven't seen stuff that, 100% makes me believe all of this. It says, this was a quote from Musk. It says, the important thing is that we establish Mars as a self-sustaining civilization. Remember, he wants to send 1 million people in the next 10 years. He also wants to send 3 trips per day starting in a couple years, or even there could be starting soon. That's what they say, at least, right? It says, the difference with him is Musk is not driven by a scientific motive for discovery and search for truth. Instead, it's a colonizing, imperialistic, property value dominating factor, which I think is terrible. That is of course, Sterone, CNBC's one of their people there. It says the news with Shepard Smith that the human desire can go to the red planet stems from culture and science fiction, but Musk's motive is fundamentally driven by a colonistic view. Do you think that? In fact, let me know. Do you think we are going to Mars because it's a money thing? Because remember, all of these companies up until they thought that, by the way, they didn't know if this was going to be financially smart. They didn't. I still to this day, Blue Origin's Amazon Bezos put $1 billion annually of his own money from Amazon into Blue Origins, basically blindly investing in this space venture. What do they know that we don't? We have heard of asteroids that are lined with diamonds, or asteroids that are all iron that could be, worth more money than the whole world has. But is that really why? Why are we going to Mars? Why are we setting up on Moon? Why are we setting up for like this two-point trip? Are they making the new Noah's Ark? Do they know something that we don't? Prove me wrong. Because guess what? Why are they doing this? If it's costing them money, how many people are going to be able to afford to go to Mars? And then he says, oh, I'm going to make it affordable. But that if it's cheap, then how are you making your money back? You're doing this purely to do it, to save humanity? It seems really freaking weird. What do you think, Dex, as far as Musk saying he's getting us all there? Where's the, I guess, there's all these things that they say is going to be financially smart. But these guys are already the richest people on the planet. For them, I think it's something different. Looks like Dex is on the phone, but that's okay. If you want to call in, you can call in at 224-400-MARF. If you want to support the show in a different way, I would highly suggest looking into EMP Shield. Of course, if you have not yet You should go to their website and check them out. This is a surefire way to protect yourself against all three phases of an E1, E2, and E3 EMP, and it can protect you against a solar flare. It can also protect your house or any device from lightning. People don't think about that much here in Seattle, but in the Midwest, it's definitely a problem, and people end up paying $1,500 deductibles because lightning screwed up their house when you could have solved that, in fact, with a $200 product. Again, this is something that has multiple purposes, and there are multiple devices for different protections. So you can get the most popular one for your car, wire it in about 5 minutes, and be protected. It actually, the car version grounds the signal from an EMP, and multiple, mind you. EMPs come in multiple pulses. It could go on for an hour. It has been tested for multiple by Keystone military technologies. Again, this will actually ground the signal to the frame of the car before it fries all of your electronics. Not to mention they make one for your ham radio, your generators, your solar protection, your motorcycles, your boats. If you have a bug out plan, this should be in it. Again, that's marfugelnews.com/EMP. They are one of the few companies that's actually working with all of the government agencies, including DHS, DOD. All right, that's again marfugelnews.com/EMP. Thank you for advance. Not only do you save $50 off per device, but you also help us with the small commission. So we do appreciate your purchase there. And again, thank you for using our code. All right, and then Dex, let's get, if I'm going to go over and look at who we got here. It looks like we have Gen X Voice, who is a first-time caller. Oh, trippy. Calling in from Oklahoma, says February 3rd, 1990, had a car accident. Our last call, Mary, that one really stuck with me, where she lost her eye, and I don't know if you guys remember, I believe that was an Unidentified Friday as well.
And hey, Adam, can you turn down my line here for a moment? I need to fix something with the callers.
Okay, yeah, no problem. All right, thank you for doing that. It looks like we're having... again, this is a live show, so anything can happen. So let's go over to the chat. Thank you, everybody that's here. If you're watching the replay, fast forward about 30 seconds. Lisa K23, glad to be here. Happy Friday. Tower Bear, thank you so much. Says, I think humans have been on Mars for years. A lot of people actually think that. They have soldiers that were, what was the word? It was non-terrestrial soldiers. Something like that. If you know what they called it. And this has been around for like 10 or 15 years. At least the documents that were kind of fished out of classified stuff. It had a list of soldiers that were, I want to say it was non-terrestrial, which means terrestrials on Earth, So are these soldiers in space? Like, what's going on? And they didn't match up with the astronauts. So it was like, so if they're not astronauts, who are they? Johnson, again, thank you for your support. Cynthia Lynn, what do you guys think? Tower Bear, thanks again. Turbo 420, thank you for being here. And Lisa K, thank you for giving out Marfia badges. And it looks like we've got JW TV, a bigger channel there in our audience. If you haven't checked out JW, make sure to go check them out. It says, climate emergency powers just screwed gas stations. I was on the road and saw it coming in the form of Agenda 2030. Marf, last vid on my channel. JW, I will check it out. If you guys have not checked out JW TV, he is a good guy, and I have watched many of his videos. I have ever since. In fact, I think I watched you before I started YouTube. I just haven't had a chance lately. So thank you, JW, for stopping by, and you always come by and support. I will return the favor. I know you've had several issues. And then Doc Bill says, conspiracy theory claims that the CIA invented the term in 1967. Do you see what Doc Bill did there? He said, conspiracy theory claims the CIA invented the term in 1967. But that's a theory, right? Devon Island looks nice this time of the year, says Sir Budrick. Martin Benjamin, thank you so much again for massive support. And then Rambler55, thank you for joining the $3 tier on Patreon. I appreciate that. And then Becky Howard again, thank you. Dex, do you have Are we switched out?
Yes, we're all good now, Adam, and we have Gen X on the line live.
Okay, thank you for putting that note in there too. I appreciate that. Okay, Gen X voice, you are live on Marfugal News.
Hello, Adam.
How are you doing? I actually, by looking at your name, I was not expecting a woman's voice for some reason. What is going on?
Really? Not a lot. Thanks for you and Dex and the mods for all you guys do. I've been watching your shows for years, and I guess since you began, and I enjoy it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for sticking around. I know it's hard to stick with the same channel for a long time. I know it's hard for me. I get distracted, so thank you. So you had an accident, is that right?
Yeah. 1990, February 3rd, I was 19 years old. And Oklahoma is famous for ice storms, right? So we were having one of our historic ice storms, and 19 years old, and I kind of had a temper and was angry and was driving fast and shouldn't have been. Totally my fault, one car accident. But I was thrown from the car when I was going between 110 and 120 miles an hour when I had the wreck. And if I hadn't have been thrown from the car, it would have killed me. But I was thrown from the car, and I was way off the road into a pasture out in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. And a farmer found me like 6 to 7 hours later. But what was cool is, because I was angry, I had ran out and got in my car, no shoes, no coat, just jeans, a pair of socks, and a T-shirt, right? And so I have this car accident. I'm thrown from the car. And I realize now my life has turned out great. God is good, and my life is fine. But I did become a paraplegic in this car accident, okay? But when I discovered I couldn't walk, I tried to pull myself to the road and discovered I couldn't. And I just laid back, and all I could say is, oh, God. And as soon as I did, I saw a silhouette. It was like a bright light, and I didn't see a person or a face or anything. It was a silhouette of a person and a bright light. And they just came and stood over me, and I got calm and warm. And they stayed, whatever it was, I believe it was an angel, stayed with me until a rancher started checking on his cows the next morning because of the ice storm, and he found me and brought a blanket out and called the sheriff, and they came and got me. But this bright light and this silhouette of it was a human silhouette, just stayed with me and kept me warm. And when they finally got me to a hospital like 2 hours later because it was too icy for the meta flights, so it took like 3 different ambulances to get me to Oklahoma City. They were amazed that I didn't have frostbite. And I stayed just cool enough to stop the internal bleeding in me and keep me alive, but I stayed warm enough to stay alive. And I will never believe anything else other than it was an angel. And I've shared that with my family, but I've never really shared it with the public. And I've listened to you for years, and I just thought it was a good time too, because we aren't alone here, you know?
No, we're not. I had a very similar experience when I was a kid and my mom swore by it until the day she died, where there was a truck coming and she saw me, and then she saw this white light, and then all of a sudden I was carried across the street and the truck missed me. She told that story to my family. I mean, and we talked about it every Christmas, and she was absolutely sure there was no mistaking it. She said she wasn't drunk. She wasn't anything. She was watching me. It wasn't like a reflection. So, when I was a little kid, I always heard about stories of angels, and I do believe that's something that's incredible. That and to keep you at the kind of warmth where it was just cold enough to keep you, not to keep your
alive
from over bleeding, and then warm enough to stay alive and not get frostbite. That's amazing. I guess
it is. God's good.
It's shocking to hear too when anyone, that was an accident that changed your life forever. anybody else hears you say that and they go, oh, she ended up paraplegic. That was something that changed your life forever. And for you to come out and to be able to call in and say, I've had a great life, that's something that I think more people need to hear, that we take life for granted. We take everything for granted, and we can be perfectly happy no matter what situation we're in if we have the right mindset.
Well, Adam, life is what you make it. And I was told I couldn't have children, and I had my first baby a year later. I had another baby. We adopted my daughter when she was 2.5 months old, when I was 30. I'm 50 now. I've been in the wheelchair 28 years. I have a farm in Oklahoma. And, if someone tells you can't do something and you believe it, then you've already defeated yourself. But when you believe God and that all things are possible through him who strengthens you, then there's really nothing you can't accomplish.
Oh, amen. Amen. I am so glad you called in, Gen X Voice. I've seen your screen name for a very long time, and it's just amazing you've been there the whole time watching me, but I haven't gotten to know you. I'm so happy to meet you, and I hope that this isn't your last call. I hope you don't be a stranger and you call in again, especially on subjects like this. Like, that's insane. Have you had any experiences since, as far as other things that have happened since? Do you feel like some people say after they get to that point that then they're more perceptive to things?
I don't call it an intuition. I call it the Holy Spirit. And I think that over the years, I've just learned to listen to him more. And that's been helpful. I did... I've had a couple of dreams that have come true, and one that I hope never comes true. And, but yeah, I think that once you have a life or death experience, it does. I don't know if it gives you an intuition or it just makes you appreciate life more. So you're more observant with everything that goes on around you. I don't know exactly what it is. Like I said, I call it the Holy Spirit, but I haven't seen any more angels. No.
Well, thank you so much, Gen X.
I appreciate that one time.
No, and Gen X, I believe you. That's a freaky thing to have happen, and I know that you've felt that. So thank you so much for calling in, and please call in again, okay? Don't be a stranger.
Sure, no problem, Adam. And I just want to thank you and Dex again and the mods. I really appreciate your show.
Well, we appreciate you and for you to watch all this time. That's really amazing. Thank you. And of course, I actually visit Oklahoma, so hopefully we'll get to meet someday.
Sure. You ever come to Davis, Oklahoma, and you look me up.
All right, I will. All right. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Bye-bye. That was Gen X Voice. And if you've had an experience like her, where you've had an angel experience, or an accident. Mary's story was really incredible as well. To hear people that have been in that kind of situation. You guys may have heard mine. If you didn't, I won't bore you with it here. But if we do another episode on this, I died. I mean, I was for 45 minutes. They were going to call a mortician instead of. I was at the Science Center. And my heart had basically they had to get me breathing on my own. They were physically pumping the little, the blower bag, and my girlfriend at the time was basically begging them not to give up. And they did CPR, and I was blue, and all of that. And basically, they said they wouldn't take me in the ambulance until they could get me stable, and they were going to call me. And then this little kid basically said, don't give up. He's a daddy. Because there's thousands of people around. It was at a festival at Seattle. So I do believe. And then the ambulance worker ended up coming and visiting me in the hospital and said that he basically told me he didn't give up because of that kid. And to this day, I actually don't think my friend Nikki, who now we're still good friends, my ex, she said she didn't see a kid. So there's some freaky stuff that happens in life. I actually just recently talked to her because I told her on the show, and I was talking about our story on the show, and she's like, yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened that day that she thought was pretty crazy. So I think if you guys have an experience like that, let us know. I want to put or compile them. That's almost proof of God and proof of angels. As far as if the more people that see it, how can you deny it? I guess that's my view on it. All right, let me put this here. Okay. All right, let's show some videos. These are viewer-submitted videos. Speaking of kind of paranormal, there's some pretty crazy stuff here. First, I want to show you this, though. The floating ship. Do you think that this is fake? Do you think... This is BBC News, by the way. I did not expect... Because everything is in our... when we put something in, it goes into... it goes into our program that shows it like this. Dax, I didn't expect you put this article in here about the floating ship. I didn't expect this to be BBC. That's like you would expect this to be on like the New York Post or something like that. Actually kind of surprised that BBC actually ran this story. So I wonder what kind of backup they have on this. This was a photo taken of a floating ship. Is this a phenomenon? Is a scientist going to say that this is some sort of exactly? Yep, I knew it. It says David Morris took a photo of the ship while walking near Falmouth, Cornwall, and it says BBC meteorologist David Brain said that the superior mirage occurs because of special atmospheric conditions that bend light. So they're saying that this is real, and it says he said the illusion is common in the Arctic, but can appear very rarely in the UK during winter. Mr. Morris said he was stunned after capturing the picture. This is on picture too. It's not like you just saw it with your eyes, like it was a mistake, or like your brain is saying something. Look at that. That is flipping. That's just nuts. I'm sorry, but how is that? How is that far? Like, I could understand like it being an inch, but that's like, it looks like it's 60, 70 feet. Isn't that weird? Miss Me YouTube says
that's nuts, Adam.
Unbelievable. I would have thought they would more likely say, no, this is photoshopped. But they actually say that this is some sort of atmospheric thing. And I've seen that before where they had the floating city or whatever, and they said that could be that. They are calling it that. They're saying that this is... No, it's real. It's just this very special, rare thing that happens.
Yeah, they're using... I think they're using the same excuse or reasoning, I should say, that they used for the floating city, right? Like this weird mirage that comes over and gets refracted through, the atmosphere and the perfect conditions that cause something on a distance to be shown sort of like in the sky, right? And then therefore it looks elevated. But where's the water?
Well, somebody said you can't see the hull of a ship and then dash mirage, basically saying since you can't see the hull of the ship, that it's a mirage. Well,
yeah, that's true, because that ship's probably a lot deeper than just what you're seeing there, right? When you take that ship out of water.
Basically, it's a those ships go way, way, way farther. If it was actually floating in the air, what they're saying is that you would see the propellers, you would see everything down below. It's like an iceberg. And, it's not that big, but basically there's more under the water. So it is perfectly flat, but how crazy is that separation? Somebody else said spaceship. What if it's actually shaped like that? What if they had some sort of technology that made them, they disguised themselves as a ship? It actually, even just the top here, there's like this weird, I don't know.
They just got their height when they did it, right?
Yeah, by the way, you're buzzing like the game Operation. Are you playing Operation during the show?
Absolutely.
Okay, take out the liver.
You don't do that, when you're on air, do you?
No, I usually play Connect 4. I'm not an idiot. Yeah. Anyways, let's play the videos. Dex, do you want to read the first description here on the... We're going to go over to the first video on the website, if I can find it here. I'm just going to scroll through every page here. Oh, hey, we scrolled past. Hey, Nord! Check out Nord. We'll go back to that. Okay, so on the website, you can see that we have all of this actually organized, and right here is all the videos. So, Dex, can you tell us what the first one is on the viewer-submitted content? I watched this several times, and I was trying to figure out, I know it wasn't the dot, right? It says moving right to left under the moon. And I'm pretty sure I see two of the dots of a triangle, but I don't see the third. Some people would get confused and think that this little flare here is what they're talking about, but it's not. This flare, you may have seen yourself, is from a cell phone. Basically, when you move it, the stabilizer inside whatever the newer phones, it will have this kind of, there's two sheets of glass. So it makes this little tiny dot flare that if you go like this, it goes like this, So that's what's down below. I turned you off somehow, dang it. I was playing Battleship over here, sorry. You there now, Dex?
Yeah, I'm here. And I hope I'm not buzzing still, but if I am, I'll work on it. That's what this person said. It was like a triangle type shape, and I do see the little dot moving around, but I'm assuming, I always know that's the camera, the lens refraction, especially when you have a bright light right in the middle, you typically have that moving around. But I couldn't necessarily make out the triangle just like you, so maybe others can see it, and maybe we'll see it on the bigger screen.
But there's several things. I almost think I see this dark shadow behind about midway through the video. It's kind of a trip. There's, of course, the moon halo. Their description. Can you read their description? Just because I have it full screen.
Yeah, sure. It says on 2/25/21, approximately 10 p.m., moon halos, a large triangle craft moving right to left under the moon at the 11-second mark, and an orb. So that's what the message is, and if you go to that 11-second mark is where I guess the triangle would be. I'm not sure where the orb is unless it's the dot that's moving around.
Okay, so at 11 seconds, I see this right. They say moving from right to left. I see kind of a general shape behind the moon, or in front of the moon, maybe. It does kind of look like there's this triangle here. What do you see? Put it in the comments below. I'd love for you to tell me what you see in video number 1. We'll ask this for video 1, video 2, video 3. This is video 1, and this is Stiletto Czar. That's CZAR. Stiletto Czar is the channel, and it says not just a moon out tonight. I think that was the full moon. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was 100% the full moon the other night that we had. Here. We'll move on to the next one. Okay. And then if you want to load up the next caller after this next one, it says, my security cameras began capturing what can only be described as some type of interdimensional entities in early 2017. They are out of the visual spectrum and only visible when utilizing infrared. There may be some sort of logical explanation, but I have been unable to provide one, so I am hoping that you, Dex, or someone from the Fugel fam can shed some light regarding these orbs, or whatever you choose to call them. They originate out of the sky, the ground, travel through the walls, and routinely humans. I have several theories regarding their purpose, but curious on what your thoughts are. They are present every day from dusk till dawn. They also appear to make up at least 40% of our precipitation. They say, I know this sounds crazy, but it's true nonetheless. I have enough footage to fill your show for a couple years. I have attached an iCloud link, consists of the events. Okay. And then this apparently this event that he's attaching is from April of 2020. So April of the best year ever. That's what I call it. I don't know what you call 2020. But, you know, me and 2020 were like this. We were besties. We were like this. We were KISSING in lockdown. Okay. So
it should play if you scroll down a little.
Okay. So okay. There we go. Okay, so this is going to... Wait a second. What is that light moving? Do you see that?
Well, that's the silent object, right? That's what I took when I read this description, is that this light is the silent object that moved over.
Wait a second. What the hell? Is that a helicopter? This isn't a special camera, is it? The thing is that could have been a drone with a light or something, but that's weird. I see the little orbs that are floating around. I would think that this is but there's no wind.
Yeah, I think that's bugs. And I think that's the object. I think the little things are just bugs, and this is a night camera on, you know.
That's a lot of bugs.
A security cam, right? Which has that infrared. But that, if this is an object that he's saying he saw or had no sound that came over his property or his house, that would be interesting.
I don't know. I think he's also saying that these are the orbs that move through walls and trees and stuff. But I guess the main, that big light is the weird part here. What do you think of video 2? You can watch this on our website. You can go over it. You can zoom in. I'll try to zoom in as close as I can to this object here. It gets closer. There is no sound. Here it's going to pass by. I don't think a plane would be that bright, right? I always think about the what if. What if it was something, creepy or spooky? And there's always that part, like, if it is true, then that's spooky.
Well, the only thing that would have that bright of a light on it in a neighborhood like that typically would be a police helicopter, right?
Or
and it
or
would
a
be
drone.
having a light, it's shining it down. And that would, at that level, would be extremely loud. You would know there's a chopper going over your house.
Wait. The trees, if it was like super low, the trees would be moving. Also, there's some people might even say, oh, well, that's dust particles flying around, right? But there's no wind. That's the trippy part about that.
Well, and all we can say is it's unidentified, right?
That's a good point. Well, you can watch the rest on our website. You can go to this link. What was the name of the person who shared this? Do we have a...
Yeah, I don't have it, but I can see if I can find it. Sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we give him proper credit here. Thank you for submitting that. Again, great video. It boggles me. There's no answer to it, right? There's not going to be an answer. That's what bugs me about some of these things. Like that one specifically, is that what you're talking about? Even you gave us a really good, we always tell people to give us a really good description that, basically talks about all this stuff. But this one I have additional questions on.
And that was Dave's automation.
Okay, here we go. I'm trying to get back to this stupid thing. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, and by the way, before we lose everybody, there is everybody that is watching this. I hope, even if you watch the first 10 minutes, that you always check our website for the current show, because not only are you going to get the articles and everything we cover, you're also going to get additional content, which is actually always above the viewer submitted. So this is web-only content. Actually, tonight it's below. This is web-only content. So there is too hot for TV stuff, stuff that is kind of charged either direction. One thing that we should do is we should try to get somebody who has more of a different view from us, and then get them to add some web-only content that's very directed that way. Would you guys like that if we had kind of an equal, have somebody from polar opposites kind of pick out a couple from, the idea of the other side, right? I think it would be interesting. I always like looking at both sides and then being the judge for myself. T-Man, all this stuff that's in there about him and Lynn Wood and all that stuff is in there. So make sure to go over there and check it out. And then in just a second here, we're going to look at Jason Knapp's testifies to his death experience. This one is too long for the entire show. I'll play you a clip of it. But his description, it says, my husband's testimony of his near-death experience, he has a disease called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, where he gets dehydrated faster than normal. He got food poisoning and died in front of me on the way to the hospital. So his story of this is his wife filming him, and it's definitely a very interesting story. So we're going to play a bit of that, but first let's go to this next video. And remember, you can send your videos in to us, marfugelnews.com/playmyvideo, or you can go to our main website, and at the very top of the page, there are little section. It goes news, TV, shop, dude, whatever else, and then play my video. There's actually a tab. You click that, it makes it very easy. You just upload it to YouTube, put the link there, check to make sure that, check the box that basically gives us permission to play it, and then boom, you're done. You don't have to upload anything or anything. Or you can upload, but again, that's if you don't do the YouTube route. Angle in the cloud. And at first I thought this was an angel in the cloud. But no, it was an actual angle. It says an unusual angle cloud just showed up while I was on my lunch break taking a walk. It says in the beginning of what there was a few minutes prior to the cloud from the video. So I see this kind of stuff all the time. Not saying it's less strange. I think it is more strange that people do not call this stuff out. Like, how do we have these unnaturally... that is spooky. That's straight up a triangle. How are they not addressing the fact that our clouds have changed over the last couple of years to the point where the weather people are like making up names for new clouds now? They're just like, oh yeah, by the way, we added some clouds. They're different kinds. There's different patterns. So first of all, the maker goes by, leaves a line, and it's this thin, and then all of a sudden you've got this, football field wide thing, and it turns into a cloud. And now, finally, they are now saying that they are going to do it. Now they're telling us like, oh yeah, now we've got to do it. And they're not going to apologize the people they removed for covering it before it was public. Because they said that these were all theories, right? Now they're going to be public about it. Trippy video. A mustard seed. This is, again, a mustard seed. We should go Love Mob. I believe they sent in one other video. So this time I'm going to actually show. And thank you for sending us multiple videos again. Thank you for sending in again, especially on a week where we didn't actually get that many submissions. So thank you. A mustard seed. I hope that you are doing well. I really thank you for sending in your video and appreciate your viewpoint. All right, and then RE55. We've got Orb UFO. Ari, are you in the chat tonight? I wonder if we have, let's see. He's usually in the chat on nights like this. What is going on here? Hold on. Let's get the sound going. Somebody said this show is not boring. Sometimes it is. You liar. In fact, we're going to step this up a notch.
Now, in his description, Adam, he said he caught this with his iPhone. As you all probably remember, Ari has one of those cameras that super zooms. So normally he would have probably had this thing zoomed all the way in with his amazing camera. But yeah, this is just his iPhone.
I'm sorry, I'm twiddling, Dex. Somebody called my show boring. Now it's just filler at this point. How many minutes do we have left? Sorry. On the other hand, Ari, like Dex said, always has these huge, crazy zoomed in videos because he has a very specialty camera that has 1,000 times optical zoom. It's not actually digital, it's optical, so it's the lens zooming in. It's a super long lens camera. It's basically a built-in telephoto lens that's purely built to zoom into stuff. Like moon videos are great from him, but this is from his cell phone, so I don't know what format that it came in. Let me try to see if I can make it bigger if I don't go full screen. But he always catches really good objects. See if I can just go bigger on the... Let's see. Okay, let's see here. I always get a kick when I see these, like, go to the next video thing, and I always see Mark Pyers, 775 days in a row. That guy's a beast. Hard-working guy. I really appreciate him. Okay, hold on.
Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away.
Thank you, James, by the way. It looks like you just went over to PayPal during the show. Thank you so much. Or it looks like actually that was after a replay. So thank you, James W, for going over to PayPal. That's really appreciated. And of course, you can leave a message next time and we can read it on the show. Doc Bill, again, thanks for your support. And it looks like Tito Ortiz. What is going on? I wonder if you're a fan or you never know. The real Tito Ortiz could be watching. Okay, so if you want to check out RE55, he's almost at 6,000 subscribers. He's got great videos. In fact, I'll show you his channel real quick as well. Try to get him to 6,000 if you can. His videos are far less boring than mine. Look at the kind of videos that he gets, especially something like this. Look at Wormwood Star. Okay, so this is a perfect example of why I think stuff is going on here. And I'm purposely highlighting this. He catches some insane stuff. You see that? That's not a plane. So go over and check out RE55. That looks like a rock with a flame behind it. We have seen meteors, and they've admitted to it. They say it's space junk. Is that not a trip? Space junk, right? And they'll admit it. So let's play a second of this real quick. And unmute.
Like everything I did to touch me, and I could blood red.
Felt like
I was in the plane, like in a jet.
Okay, so here's
it was a long fall, but
he said he was in the car with his wife, and it felt like while they're on the way to the hospital, it felt like he just fell, and it was a fast fall, like a jet falling.
it was also fast. Like I was in the plane, like in a jet. And when I got to the bottom, I was face to face with Satan. And I knew it was Satan, because when you're dead, you know who people are. You don't need to say who you are, because you automatically know.
Describe what it looked like and felt like.
I was face to face with Satan, and it's a fear that I've never felt before. I was so terrified, and I didn't want to look at him. His eyes were blood red, and it was like his eyes were on fire. Because of his hatred toward me. And he was really trying to get to me. But
So another part, this is actually goes far more into detail, and I don't want to chop it up to be disrespectful to his full story, because I think you should hear you always hear about people facing God and facing Jesus. I've rarely heard somebody who is, of Christian nature or of a religious nature talk about a near-death experience where they face Satan. And if you are a Christian, then you probably know most people would fall in the going down category, if you get what I'm saying. If you haven't repented in Christianity and you've done even slightly bad things, you're going downtown. So I feel like it's like you never hear people saying they faced Satan instead of facing, God at the pearly gates. Very interesting video there. And then once you hear the whole story, you get why it's kind of a trip. And his disease, which is adrenal hyperplasia, is something that I actually, one of our family friends died in a day that was like 82 degrees because they went completely dehydrated and they fell down and hit their head. So I've seen that before, but give me your feedback. That is video 5, I'm sorry. And give me your feedback on that. I'd love to hear it. And Zippy Moons, come on, man. I even hit it to help out. Hit that damn like button. Thank you. Zippy Moons, I appreciate that. And to everybody else, I never ask you guys, but if you like the channel, if you find it of value, or if you think it's boring, please hit that like or dislike. Those dislikes help our engagement too. So you can let your opinion be heard and help us out. I know that sometimes hurts to realize that disliking actually helps us, but please do. On top of that, hold on, I got to move my battleship. Miss. Oh, sorry. And let's see. I believe that's the last video, Dex. And then
and I think he also, when you listen to the rest of the story, he sees Jesus as well. So it's very interesting. We've heard many different near-death stories. I agree with you. He's got a very interesting one. It's pretty long, so you guys go watch it on your own. But yeah, definitely worth listening to. Let's
take Star.
Okay.
And then we'll get them on the phone. Let's see. Star, you're live on Marfugal News. What's going on?
Oh my God, what a show. So many of your callers really me, and especially the first one, Gen X, I think. Oh boy, prayers to her. She's just like an amazing human being. So I was in tears there. Anyway, yeah, I had some experiences. Let me get my timer going real quick here. 5 minutes.
Your egg
on the
timer?
clock.
Hopefully it doesn't sound like you're playing Operation. If it buzzes.
Well, I wanted to sing F4, okay?
You sunk my battleship.
Battleship.
You're awesome. I was going to say hit.
You're too funny.
That's so.
Oh my God!
You are already ahead of me.
You're so funny. Oh my God! You guys cracked me up. I was laughing with the operation and the.
Well, you actually read my mind. Okay, so you have a video here.
Okay, so we can jump to the video. So let me just tell you really quick with the video. I saw a spacecraft about, I want to say a good month ago, that flew over my house. It was like 4 a.m. It was dark out. And I have windows that are 6 feet off the ground. And I swear to God, it sounded like a missile was going to bomb. I swear to God, I thought my life was over. It sounded like a missile. And then all of a sudden, it's like well lit up, like triangular spacecraft flew over my home. Like it was so low in its, I think the word is altitude, low down. And at the belly of it, it had like a triangular red shape lit up. And so I saw that again, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And I grabbed my phone, ran outside, and I was ready to try and get some footage on that on my phone, and it was gone. But then I looked to my right and I saw what I sent to Dex. And, it was just like, what the heck? Like, it was kind of like my consolation prize, but it was very interesting. And my friend was like, well, maybe it was somebody with a laser. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know, but it was very interesting.
Well, we've been seeing all these videos that are coming out of these crazy, they look like they're almost, back in the day when they would put the lights up for haunted houses, those big floodlights. But they don't look like that.
Yeah.
They look like they're coming from up above, and they're multicolored, and they move around, and it looks like there's a ship above the clouds. There's a lot of these videos on TikTok and all these other places, and they don't look fake. So I'm just wondering, like, if there's just more sightings of things now than ever before. Now that everybody has their phone and everybody has their phone handy and ready, and even the camera going. That's another thing. Like, all the new generation, they have TikTok going 24/7. They're everywhere. I wonder how much more things we've caught because of the new generation, constantly videotaping themselves.
Well, it's because of you and your show, and that I even like thought to grab that, that bigger spaceship. That would have been like really a big deal, but so that's how I caught that. And like, I'm at 1 minute and 48 seconds, so I don't even think I'm going to be able to tell you my UFO experiences.
No, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you one. Okay. The first, I've had multiple, but I'll tell you one. When I was 6 years old, wait, are you talking?
No. Nobody's talking.
Sorry. Okay. When I was 6 years old, I grew up on Long Island. I grew up next to a shrub farm, and the farmer was really awesome. He had like a pond, and we used to go and catch bullfrogs, and he had a horse, and we used to go feed the horse carrots. And so when I was 6 years old, I went and I fed the horse carrots, and I was on my way back home. And I want to say I was like about a quarter of a mile, maybe less than that, away from my house, but I could see my house, and I could see the neighbor's house across the street. And I looked up above my neighbor's house, and about 2,000 feet in the air was a suspended UFO. And I just thought how cool as a little girl, because it was all different colored lights, like blue and yellow and green, and just all these flashing lights. And I remember as a reality check, I looked down at the ground and then I looked up again, and it was still there. And then I looked back down at the ground, and I looked back up, and it was gone. But I noticed that the light had changed. And so I just feel like I was taking aboard that spacecraft for a little bit of time to make the difference from, because it was not dusk when I saw it, but it basically was dusk by the time I looked the second time up. And I wasn't afraid. I didn't tell anybody. I basically forgot about it, but I knew in my heart that I was going to have at least 2 more experiences, and I did. But maybe I'll call in another time to tell you, because there's more.
Well, it could be
I appreciate.
It could be a continued. Now, you're not I Love Chihuahuas, are you? I'm just taking a wild guess here.
No, I am. I had no idea that was, I thought this was like, I forget, it was like unlisted or something, but yeah, that's me.
Okay. Because the channel is Star and Dynamic Chihuahuas, but which, by the way, I almost cracked up again because I have never seen this sentence. Vacuum attacks resolved.
Oh my God!
Because this is a big mystery. The vacuum attacks are now resolved. By the way, we're no longer worried about the vacuum attacks.
Well, whenever I would vacuum, my dogs would attack the vacuum. And so I told my brother, who has trained dogs, he worked in search and rescue in Colorado. He said they're trying to dominate you or dominate the vacuum. So you have to be the alpha dog. You have to assert yourself with them and stop. And so I took his advice and I filmed it, and it really did stop it.
So you did the dog whisperer with a vacuum, and you were just and you took charge.
Yes, exactly. I showed them that you cannot dominate the vacuum.
Well, I love it. Well, I'm going to check out all your video. I'm going to go over and comment. I hope everybody love Mom Star. We do this to support each other, not exactly that. You might not be into Chihuahuas, but guess what? You can be into supporting other Fugle Fam members. That's what's cool about it. And why is his leg backwards? What is wrong with his leg? Oh, that's two dogs. Okay. Oh, I thought
you're so funny.
That is horrible. Whoa, it's backwards. Okay. All right. Well, moving on. Star, I'd love to hear from you again. And we're not getting rid of Unidentified, so we can have a future call with your other two, and all of the regulars will know exactly what your first story was, and that's what's cool about it. You can do a little an update.
Well, I appreciate you and Dex, and he's just lovely, and of course your mods. And I don't comment a lot. I watch the show. I get distracted when I'm in the chat. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys, love you all, and keep doing the great work you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Star and the Dynamic Chihuahuas is the channel. Go check her out and support our fellow Fugle family. Again, we want to support all of our Fugle family members before anybody else here. So thank you. And you have a wonderful night. God bless you, and God bless your dogs and everybody else. And I hope you guys are all happy family. And just keep asserting dominance. All right. Temperance, that was a great lady. And I love that most people know. So always let new people know, too. And even if they're jerks, remember that we can have people be jerks for the first couple times. Remind them that it takes a minute, but everybody's going through their own stuff. It's kind of like kick the cat. Basically, somebody will come in and they'll say this is this or this is that, or they'll be mad, and 90% of the time they're mad because something happened to them or somebody was a jerk to them, and they're only passing it down. Zig Ziglar had a story that really made sense to me, and I listened to him when I was a kid. My uncle, who is a financial consultant, I lived in their basement after my parents were gone early on, and I lived in this basement in my aunt and uncle's, and in the bottom they had all these tapes, and this is back when you had those big boom boxes with the tape players, and I'd put this huge booklet of Zig Ziglar tapes. Even now I think it's like thousands of dollars for the whole thing, because it's like thousands of hours of Zig Ziglar. And I would listen to his tape because he was so funny. If you ever listen to Zig Ziglar, he was so funny. But he had this story about kicking the cats. If you ever get a chance, it makes perfect sense. And the way that he explains it actually changed my life early on. That sounds cliche, but it was like, it made so much sense to me, because everything, and it ties in with a lot of other stuff. How to be successful in a negative cat kicking world. Don't kick the cat and choose your attitude. This is old school, okay? Some of you are like, old school? That's not old school. That's 80s. But he did this, and it really, really explains a lot. And I would say for anybody, it's a really good thing to watch. But basically, it's you're passing that on to somebody else. In chat, what we want to do is push everybody up, even if they're saying something you don't like. We work past it, and we just go, okay, well, where can we find our common ground? Let's move forward. But not only that, realize that they might have had somebody die in their life a week ago, or they might have lost their husband or lost their wife, or they may have just been fired, and they're taking it out on you. And if you give them time How many people have you known that you hated when you first met, and now they are your best friends? How often has that happened to all of you? So just remember, the person you just find the most annoying could be your favorite friend. It's just about unlocking those parts of their character that you actually like and love, and then all of a sudden you can get along with anybody and anything, even if they completely see different viewpoints than you. Especially political stuff, right? They could be, you could have a T-Man supporter and a B supporter just hanging out, doing pinky swears, playing Battleship, doing Operation together, 80s montage, running and skipping, hand-holding, spanking butts, whatever, okay, you're into. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Let's get serious here. It's like a marriage. Seeking truth, ear-ringing is Schumann resonance. By the way, my wife has been plagued all week long. Dex, I don't know if you know. Does your wife still have the ear ringing thing too?
Oh yeah, it keeps coming and going.
For mine,
it's more intense sometimes and then backs off a little, but it's still there.
So Mrs. Marf and Mrs. Dex both have the ear thing, but I have had it where you're sitting there and it feels like there's different frequencies going through us. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And, another thing. I'm looking for the old video. So if you guys remember last year, I had diverticulitis and I went to the hospital. This is such a trip. So I went to the hospital, and above one of the walkways, they had these huge parking lots, and they had these metal covered parking walkways. So basically it's like there's parking, and then there's these covered metal walkways, almost like you would have at middle school, these thin metal things. Well, they had one of the new towers, right? This little mini tower, and it was the new technology. There were 2 trees on either side, and on the inside of the trees, all of the tree was green on the outside, and on the side that was towards this tower, everything was dead on the inside, and it went in a specific shape around it. We just went because it was right off the freeway. And if you're local, I'm trying to think of if it's one of the main hospitals in Renton, Washington, and I'm trying to think of it. It's at the I will think of it. I'm sure of it. They removed it, and the trees are still there, and the insides are dead, but now the whole tree is dead. And I guarantee you, they moved it because all of these doctors walking in and out and doing this go, that's killing that tree. And they probably said something about it, and they moved it. It was far too low. Even me and my wife, when we first saw it last year, we were like, why is that right there? It was less than 10 feet away from humans. Not to mention it was at a hospital, of the irony of it all. And if it can do that to the tree, which is a living object, what the hell is it doing to us? Do you guys get what I'm saying? They won't even let you talk about that. Old Goat Prepper, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for everybody that supported us tonight. Dex, thank you for being my internet brother and a sister from another mother or something like that. And my battlefield or battleship partner.
Connect 4 is next, buddy.
Don't even.
Great show.
No, dude. You can't touch this.
Can't touch this.
Have a good night, guys. It is now officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. 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 Okay, without the echo tonight, but hear it in your head, okay? Long O.
Walk to the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk to the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk to the pain and you know that it goes away.
Thank you to everybody tonight, including our top supporters. Zippy Moons, JWTV. Looks like tonight over on YouTube it was Becky Howard. Thank you so much. kindness often manifests positive energy. That was the comment. Thank you, Susan Donahue. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I hope you're doing well and hope you are not injured in any way. Gone Girl 777, thank you so much for being an amazing person. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everybody who supports our show. We are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. We do not have a team of lawyers. We have a Dex.
Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Better clothes and life is better on stilts. Cold on cut, Lisa K, 23. Ear ringing, but some soft and some louder, they will see. Peace and grace to all, Kelly 2, 2, 3, 3. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Walk through the pain and you know that it goes away. Kirsten, Cold Cracker, Dixie Doe, Scooby-Doo, do right in the nuclear war. Hey, tall chick of water. Thanks for being out there.
Miss B, I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss B, for being out there. Thanks for subscribing.
I was walking all the way down to the road where they get a cat no more. And they know we have all the blood and the old gold pepper already know. Got the time on the bring it on down on people. Face out, JWTV and the Dockville, Sir Frederick Martin, Benjamin Rambler, 55, everybody side high. Old going right by when they saw the side. Jenny F. Chandler, Groovy Grimmer, Phil, Billy X, El Trozo, DeRozo, Big Nino, No Bozo. Hey, the Betty on the NG. Hope it's all going well, sending lots of good vibes. Oh, lots of good beer, lots of good wine. The therapy lay with the therapy tray. Marquis the Raquel R and the Susan B. The David Carter, everybody thinks I'm a big. Hey, Stormy 7572, and the low weather, sir, gonna do it right now. Like Zippy Moons is tonight's top supporter with Tower Bear in the close second. And Johnson, thank you so much. Special thank out to Veteran Steve. Thank you special to Pam, Gone Girl 777, Susan Donahue, Kelly 2334, Lisa K23, Kirkston, Master Cornholio, Aunt Jenny, BMC 2020, Annie Washington. Got the Annie Washington, everybody in my chip, I'm bringing on the low end, everybody got it down, whoa, on the low, low, whoa, whoa. Sipping on, 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 sipping on it from above. Gonna bring it from above. Walking on the street with the mama. I was walking on the street with the bear closet. I got Stormy 7572, Jeannie F. Chandler 2. Everybody got the vault 111, and they see the sun with a big perk shine, and everybody having fun. Stormy, I said Stormy. Got the taco, got the taco. Got the Tay-Dough 0700 low. Got the old back down and the tall drinking water flow. It's the old bring it. Do it every day, now we singing. Love it on the Charlie 64, Mr. Con Holy, yo, Bug Nana, everybody got the down. Hard off the gurney and we love the big that burning. Got the dermo welded, love. Got the life is better on Silk Street, Marky, Sparky, Cogs, and the NC Lobby. Mary in Medina, I see that. There are really everybody. Oh, Shasty, oh, music, oh, dub it up. Have a good night, everybody. By the way, CJ Blaze, we've got 2 different shows coming up for mod panels, but you gotta be there to be there. So if you obviously want to be on there, you gotta stick around.
Hey, Brandon, nice to see you, man. Hold on. If you guys haven't seen this channel, Brandon Henschel, go check him out. Let's get him to 100. Let's get him to 1,000 if we can. But over on DLive, it's 200 to be an affiliate. Need to at least get him there. So you know what to do, Marfugal fam. Get over there and love Mob. That is, of course, over on DLive. Zippin' moon, I see no zippin' moon. Said a zippin' moon, on zippin' moon. Got the down, I'm gonna bring it back. Down, I'm gonna bring it back. Down low, gonna bring it back. Down low, gonna bring it back. Down low, gonna bring it back. Who do we have here? No chimney cakes? No thanks. Hold on here. Lady Dro Creator, Cheater, Baiter. Who in the heck is that? Is that Truth Lady? Sloth Green, GTA. Okay, let's see here. Pay. Well, that looks interesting. Got a panel there. I don't know what that is. Let's go over and check them out. Who are we looking at here? Don't know. All right, let's... Yep, I think I got an idea. I think we're going to go home. Have a good night, bird. Marfugo.